Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to a Monday edition of the Mark Mosey Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-3733. Yeah, that's 1-800-747-FREE. Check them out, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Now joining me to recap Championship Sunday, which was better than I thought it would be, is my great friend Kyle Nash. Kyle, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, and I got to tell you, I knew that night game was going to be something spectacular. I'm sure you're going to want to talk about that after whatever this early game was. But yeah, you're a Chicago guy. I would think you'd like to see snow, right? Weren't you excited about seeing snow, Mark?
I loved it. And honestly, in 25 years, when everyone's in a dome stadium, we'll reminisce on those games because that's what's going to happen. All right. Everyone's going to have a dome stadium. Every single team is going to. And I loved yesterday. And we'll start there. I loved that second half where it was Broncos and Patriots, because it felt like everyone in that fourth quarter who's watching at home has watched football their whole lives. Everyone's an armchair quarterback. Everyone's thinking, run the ball. Okay, do this, do that. Did you get that impression as well, where it's just like you couldn't believe that fourth quarter?
As an offensive lineman, what the hell else am I supposed to think, Mark? Why are you throwing it this much? What is wrong with you people? And that's just where the arrogance of Sean Payton begins. I know we're going to talk more about this later. I don't want to steal the show from you. But yeah, of course I was shouting at the screen, run the ball. You know what the favorite thing an O-lineman likes to do? Run block. You know when you do the most run blocking, supposedly, is when the weather is bad. You stole that from those linemen that day, sir.
I can't believe the arrogance of Sean Payton in this football game. He is a Super Bowl winning coach. He has been to multiple NFC championship games. Now he's in his first. He built this team from nothing, got them in the right direction to get this. And remember, they were the 1 seed. They fought all year to have home field advantage. And it was weird. By that fourth quarter, it felt like New England was the home team where they understood how to play in the snow. And again, I know everyone is killing them. You should have gone for the field goal early. You go up 10-0. You don't know with the wind, but this is my number one thing, and I want your thoughts. You're home. You know Denver weather. Did no one tell the coaching staff that a blizzard was coming in the fourth quarter? What? No adjustments? Nothing. You have the backup quarterback. That would have been the greatest Broncos win of all time. Better than John Elway helicopter run against the Packers to win the Super Bowl. With no starting quarterback, you're at home. That would have been the greatest win ever for the Broncos. Nope. Patriots again.
But Mark Moses, you touched on it. We have guys on both sides of the ball with championship level experience. Maybe not as head coaches necessarily, which, by the way, shouts to Mike Vrabel for proving beyond the reasonable doubt how stupid the Titans were for firing him in the first place. But that's a separate conversation. I'm sure we'll get into that in the offseason at some point. But Mark Moses, you touched on it opening the show. The difference between these two sidelines is one built their resume in a dome and one didn't. You know what could have happened if the Pats were showing this game? Even worse weather. No, I shouldn't say worse. You liked it. Even more snowy weather. Okay? That's what the other alternative would be. And Mark, you should know your team is less built for snow than the other side. I know people want to crown Drake May the most overrated playoff run I think I've ever seen since Rex Grossman, with all due respect. What are we doing here crowning this guy and talking about him as an MVP? He is not. He ran the ball real nice. That's great. Lamar Jackson does that. He's a running back, but I'm digressing again. Listen, the punchline is this. Sean Payton knows, or at least should. I knew that we have a historically snowy thing, and I'm in Florida. What do I know about snow? Okay. I'm the Florida native on this show right now. And I knew it was super snowy. You made no adjustments. You refused to take the points. And I went to town on Liam Cohen on the Duval dive when he did it against Buffalo. How can I let him off the hook here, especially in this situation? And I get it. Josh Allen's not on the other side. I've talked about how bad Drake May is several times on your show, on other shows. I should at least give him that credence here. But knowing everything that was going on with the weather situation and flatly ignoring it, thinking you can lead a passing Jared Stidham to victory is something I'm not buying. I'm sorry, Mark.
It would have been better if Denver lost 35-3. That would have been better. You could have lived with that. Hey, we don't have our quarterback. We got blown out by a better team. But you're right there. It's the worst of the worst. You're right there. So this was the game. Okay. So in that fourth quarter, they punt this ball like no one even knows. Did it go 15 yards? No one. The refs had no idea. Tony Romo had no idea. No one knew what was happening. So they get the ball at the New England 32-yard line. They're down 3 points. Sean Payton then does the worst play calling I've ever seen. You keep bringing this up as a former offensive lineman. My dad said it best. Look, just QB sneak 3 times in a row. You just need the field goal. And it's funny. So he does slow developing plays where it's like, let's do a wide receiver screen or some play with RJ Harvey. Did not utilize one of the great UCF players of all time. You have him. He's a stud. You keep feeding him the ball. And then third down, Stidham does run on and I think it was a broken play. He gets 5 or 7 yards. Why didn't you just do that the whole second half? And then the guy misses the field goal. You're just like, oh my God. And then the other one is, so what did New England do on offense the whole game? They had one drive in the second half, third quarter before the snowstorm, and they got the field goal. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because remember, Stidham in the first half, he shovels it, and I start yelling, that's a backward pass. New England picks it up. They should have gotten the touchdown on it, and the ref said, no. Remember, because at first they said incomplete pass.
Right.
Then they said fumble. And then what was their offense? And give credit to New England. All right, our quarterback's just going to run it. That was their offense. So, again, Seattle by 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry.
All right, listen, and the only reason I'm not going to give an official prediction is because, the oblique thing with Sam Darnold may increase the touchdown differential should it heal up well, right? No, man, listen. And when you factor in the intangibles like Seattle losing to the Pats thanks to the worst offensive play call of all time and not handing the ball to Lynch in that history, of course it's going to matter. And there's so much bulletin board material for the Seahawks here. You want to talk about the team that doesn't get any respect? And hey, listen, I cover the Jags, Duval Dive. We've talked about how Liam Cohn says respect ain't coming. How about the lack of respect for the Seahawks, right? I talked to Believe in Rams, Erin Cosarelli. She had to tell me that it wasn't just a 2-team race in the West back in August when I thought it was just the Niners and Rams. She's like, no, you got to take the Seahawks team seriously. I'm like, okay, cool. And she was absolutely right. Members of Seahawks media are giving their dap for shouting and trying to tell us about this team, telling us, you'll pardon the snow pun, winter is coming when it comes to the Seahawks. I didn't think they had Super Bowl. But hey, welcome to another edition of how drunk this season is, man.
Yes.
Can we get the weather? You know what? The next time I try to achieve something big, I'm going to pray to the weather gods and hope they help me like the way they helped Drake May and that Patriots team, man. Goodness gracious.
So, okay. So they beat the fraud Chargers with Herbert in round 1. And give them credit, they won. They didn't even score 20 points in that game. Then look, that's why I hate the Patriots. I'm just going to, because I'm jealous of them. I am 12th Super Bowl appearance now, coming up 12, right? And they're going to try to go for their 7th Super Bowl win. Okay, so round 2, you take on the Texans, where their quarterback keeps turning the ball over. Remember, Drake May's turning the ball over also in that game.
Correct.
So they survive that. And then they have Jared Stidham, and they only scored 10 points. They are, without a shadow of a doubt, the luckiest team ever. But give them credit. You know what New England did yesterday? They did not turn the ball over. Just like Seattle. That's the difference. They didn't turn the ball. I can't believe. I know I'm supposed to be like, I'm Mr., professional journalist. I can't get over that game. It's so wild. It's such a wild outcome. How are the Broncos not in the Super Bowl? How did they lose that game? I don't get it.
If you don't acknowledge the fraud committed, you aren't investigating and being a journalist here, okay? You have to warn the public against the crime against the NFL that the Patriots currently are. And it ain't like this is the first time they needed snow to bail them out. Maybe I should tuck that away for another podcast. But you see what I did there, right? But yeah, this is why Patriots fans, in case they're wondering why they're getting hate, it's because you've earned none of it. You are at the trust fund children of the NFL fan world. That's the fact. Period. Point blank.
I now understand why Josh Allen was crying hysterically. I get it. Because this was his best opportunity.
He was.
Best opportunity. And he couldn't get it done. And the Patriots are back. And maybe they start another dynasty in the AFC. Maybe. And think of the Patriots. They didn't have to go through Josh Allen. They didn't have to take him on. They didn't have to take on the Bills. They didn't have to take on Mahomes. They didn't have to take on the Ravens. They took on the Chargers, the Texans, and Jared Stidham and got to the Super Bowl. Give them credit. They did it.
The only other path that I know of that was easier, and I forget who the Texans quarterback at the time was. I think it was Yates. And then after that, they had to, this team in question had to play Connor Cook and the Raiders after that because Carr was hurt. The team that went on that path, you already know, Mark Moses, and if you don't, I'll say it, the New England Patriots as well.
They're right. I'm telling you, if you're a Jets fan, you're a Dolphins fan, you can't. What? The Bills, finally, after 20 years, now it's our chance to win. No.
Nope.
The Patriots are back. Okay. All right. Here's what should happen to make this interesting. Bill Belichick should be there with the girlfriend. They should be on the sideline. Marshawn Lynch should sign a one-day contract, and they should give him the chance to run the ball. Okay. That's what should happen. And no one will be going to the bathroom if they're, Marshawn Lynch is in the game. Oh, and then you know what happened? Seattle still would not give him the ball. That's what would happen. Like, I don't know. So ridiculous. This is the world we live in. Like, maybe it's better because now people can hate on the Patriots for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Because we almost had Jared Stidham in the Super Bowl. That would have been a horrible blowout. But that's what look, Patriots win. And again, you think the worst loss now, you'd think in hindsight it was when the Rams beat the Saints and they didn't call defensive pass interference, which would have helped the Saints get to the Super Bowl, right? And that Saints team would have beaten the Patriots in that Super Bowl. No, this is the worst. This is the worst loss of Sean Payton's career. I'm sorry, the worst.
He's got a lot of them. Okay, there's that one. You're forgetting about the Saints and Vikings game where they had that all but one, and then right at the end, the dude missed the tackle.
Yeah.
Right. Diggs and Williams, I think, was the safety that missed the tackle.
Oh, yeah. They have that. They had the Niners loss where Alex Smith went crazy in the second round. I think that was
more about Alex Smith than it is about the Saints blowing it. I think that's fair, right? So, it's the amount of bad luck Sean Payton has had. I tore him apart, but let's not act like that. This dude hasn't had the football gods go against him as well.
Here's what's funny. So all last week I was like, coaching-wise, the advantage is Sean Payton. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. No, it's over. Mike Vrabel's the better coach now. At least Vrabel understood, all right, the only thing that's working is Drake May just running for 5 yards. So I'm going to keep doing that. And that was the difference.
They don't have snow in the swamp like that, man. Like, the Bayou doesn't get a whole lot of snow like that. He didn't know what to do. They have the dome, one of the best domes or most historical domes out there.
All right. If Bo Nix plays, do the Broncos win that game?
Sure.
That's all I need to know. That's it. That's the season. And that's why it's so killer where Bo Nix doesn't get injured, they're going to the Super Bowl. That's literally what it feels like.
Maybe Bo Nix makes a different mistake, but I don't think he makes the one that was made that literally gave the Patriots the game. I don't think he fumbles it like that.
If you would have told every Broncos fan going to that game yesterday, we're only going to give up 10 points. Well, we're going to win. That's what you're thinking. We're going to win. That's the game right there. Why did you not have Stidham play more during the season in garbage time? Why didn't you give him more opportunity? He had no reps the whole year. Why do you have Stidham as your backup? Why didn't you have Andy Dalton? Anyone? Who's the third string quarterback? There would have been points in that game where desperation. All right, maybe Stidham, can we do a wide receiver pass? Can we do any type of trickery? there was no desperation, and that's why they failed in that football.
I mean, it's not like you have a young running back who was a quarterback at one point in his career. Oh, wait, that would be RJ Harvey. We've talked about that a lot at the Black and Gold Banneret.
Okay, let's go to the other game. All right, here's the mistake of the Rams. They constantly were down 4 points in this football game. Why didn't you try for the 2-point conversion? What do you have to lose? Because just mathematically, if you get it, you're only down 3. If you lose it, you're down 5. What's okay? Well, then you're going to go for a touchdown no matter what. I didn't understand that terminology. I didn't understand the coaching of that. Go for the 2, then it's a 3-point game. Then that final drive, you're going for the tying field goal. And weather did not matter in this game.
Right.
And it's a shootout. That was the difference. And you know what? I'm sorry to say this. Sam Darnold was the difference yesterday. He made plays. And that drive to end it, to clinch it, Sam Darnold wanted the ball in his hands. He made the plays. He was the X factor. He's the difference to going to the Super Bowl. And he's the X factor in this Super Bowl coming up as well. That's how I look at it. How about you?
No, I don't think that's the worst take. I'm not fully aligned. What you're saying isn't wrong, though. Like, I think there's other factors beyond that as well. And the reason why I continue to mention this group is the most underrated in the NFL is the defensive tackle core for the Seahawks. And getting in the face of a non-mobile quarterback was huge as well. Say what you will about Matt Stafford still throwing for 374 with 3 touchdowns and no turnovers. Man, listen, I get it. Yeah. But a lot of those single plays, when you have a receiver core like that and the timing is just a little off, that's because the chaos wrought up front. Not to say the Rams didn't have their share, obviously, right? But Seattle's defense, Seattle's a defensive team. Seattle's a run-based team. Sure, you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? This is what you're expecting to see Travis Kelce and Patrick Levine Mahomes II do with the Chiefs if their defense was playing up to snuff this year. They weren't. Right? It's the same thing. JSN making a campaign to be noted as the best receiver in the NFL. I don't know if I'm there yet, but boys in the convo, I'll give him that much respect. You can't diss 153 yards in the conference championship in a shootout where you beat John Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. My God.
Turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers. It's
penalties too.
Penalties, turnovers. And look, they only won by 4.
Right.
They're right there. So they gave up in the 2 last games there at Seattle. The Rams gave up 38 points. It's like 39 or 38 points, and then gave up 31 last night. Mm-hmm. So the defense couldn't get it done. That's why they're not going to the Super Bowl. They had too many points. It is. And again, turnovers. Seattle and New England did not turn the ball over. And you know what's the funniest? I just want to say this to you real quick. So I constantly say it's all about offense. Both coaches are defensive-minded coaches first, going to the Super Bowl, and they have both, and they're just 2 great offense coordinators. That's what it is. So we'll see what happens.
Well, this is what the world of the expensive quarterback brings you, right? Teams that don't have the guy that they can afford to tie a lot of money to and be weighed down by got around it other ways by paying other guys, by bringing in other role players, by bringing in good young players, right? They're not paying a darn thing for JSN right now there in Seattle, right? You know, they got Cooper Kupp as a veteran presence. He's a number 2 receiver, which still feels kind of weird to say out loud.
And he made plays yesterday.
Correct. Absolutely. He kind of had that, I'm referencing a former Ram here, but he had kind of that Odell Beckham Jr. vibe of being a good weapon. That was a solid veteran that made contributions, may not be a number 1 anymore, but made a difference. And that's all you need in that scenario. They do miss Chardonnay, but all right, Charbonnet. Sorry, I made the required wine joke there.
I see that. All right, what I take out of yesterday is we're going to have a good Super Bowl. I still think Seahawks are going to take it to them. I think deep in my heart, again, you know what I'm going to say here. My Bears should have beaten the Rams. And now I feel like we would have put up a fight against Seattle yesterday. We probably would have lost, but at least we wouldn't have been. I know this is Dungeons and Dragons talk now, but we would have put up a fight. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
Your charisma score is high. You're going to go full D&D there, right? No, I think it would have been just as good a game in your defense. I think it would have been a fun game.
And the Patriots are back. That's make me vomit in my mouth.
They won't last. I said what I said.
No, you did, huh? This is, you know what? This has been the greatest NFL season of them all. It really has.
So drunk.
It's
so
so
drunk.
crazy. I love it. And I know that the Chiefs are sitting there at home, like Patrick Mahomes. He's like, wait till I get healthy. Give me some receivers. I'm gonna kill all these jabronis. That's what I'm gonna do. Kyle, you need to come back on with me. We need to talk Magic moving forward. And I don't want to talk Magic today. I just want to talk NFL. And then we could complain about the Magic in a couple days. How about that?
Sounds like a plan, my man. I know there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah. Kyle Nash, check out his stuff online. Thanks for your help, buddy, and good luck with your Super Bowl coverage. All right.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And until next time, my friend, class dismissed.